Hi, I'm a bird on the internet, and this week has been absolute garbage, absolute just dog shit all around. I have so many things I need to be doing, and every time I do something, I feel like I'm doing the exact opposite of what I should be doing, but I have so many tasks, I don't know which one to do. Anyways, that's not the important part. I don't have time for self-loathing. That's a luxury. What's more important is that recently I changed up the way I journal. So I've been journaling probably since 2017 when I had a very traumatic accident happen to me. The accident isn't important. What is important is that I needed to journal to basically keep me alive. So I had something to do and something to look at to keep going forward. Now, throughout the years, my journal has, changed a bunch. First I started with a notebook and then I went digital because I figured, writing on an iPad would be easier than being on a pen and notepad. But then recently I changed back to a notepad, and it does actually feel really good to write back on pen and paper. And since I swapped over back to pen and paper, I changed up the way I journal. And there's one part of the journal that says, who did you talk to today? This is basically a spot in the journal I have every day that says, who did you talk to? Either online or in person. Did you talk to somebody today? And your first thought will probably be, Decoy, do you really need a reminder to talk to somebody? That's kind of cringe. Yeah, it is cringe because I'm cringe. I am terrible at talking to people, if you haven't noticed. I'm socially anxious all the time. I'm talking very fast because I am anxious right now. Every time I open my mouth, it is a DC 20 check, and my charisma is at -3. And this is why I have a place in my journal that says, hey, you should talk to somebody because that little box is empty. Go talk to somebody, And then you can write a name down in there, and then you can say, yes, I talked to somebody. I wasn't in my own space for the entire day. Now, when I was doing it on the iPad, I had one little spot for that, right? So I wrote one name and that was it. But since I've changed back to pen and paper and I have a lot more space on the page and I write it every day, I now have a full section of who did you talk to. Superficially, it doesn't matter. It's still just an empty space on the page and it's still, just one line, but I have more lines under that now. And I've noticed since there's more lines, I feel more compelled to talk to even more people. Before I was like, okay, I talked to somebody, I wrote my thing in for the day, it's full, I'm done. But now I've got like 6 or 7 lines I can fill up. So I'm like, oh, I talked to this person and I look at it and it's empty. So I'm like, I could put another person here. So like for the past week, I've been talking to like 3 to 5 people a day. And I'm just like, hey, I thought of you today. Here's my message. I hope you're doing well. But the point is that I'm talking to more people than I usually do. And it feels really good because there's lots of people I like talking to online. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, I could talk to so many people. I don't have anything to really talk about. I don't really have any substance to talk about because once again, I'm bad at talking. But the important part is that I'm doing it. I'm talking to more people and I realize people are pretty cool. You know what? All my friends, they're really nice. I like them. So you know what? I want to talk to more people. If you want to message me, and then I'll remember that I talked to you because I can write you in my journal and I can be like, oh man, that person was so cool. I want to talk to them again. And then I can put you in my journal another day. As far as other videos go on my main channel, I have one that's 90% done. I have one that's still 70% done. Those have not been worked on this week yet. And if I don't see you on my journal, I will see you next week.